I am so excited about this episode. I love talking about young people in their faith. It truly brings me so much hope. We've talked about the return to church by Gen Z. We've talked about a millennial in Italy who will be made a saint this coming April. Today, we're going to talk about a servant of God who is a millennial from right here in America. Now, she is not a canonized saint, but she is a servant of God. You can go way back to episode 1 on this channel to hear about the process of canonizing a saint. But as a quick review, servant of God is the title you receive at the very beginning of the process. Once 5 years have passed after the earthly death of a person who lived a virtuous life or was murdered, the local bishop can open up an investigation. This is the time where writings and presentations are reviewed, witnesses are interviewed, and evidence of a virtuous life are collected and sent to Rome. On June 22nd, 2022, Bishop Kagan of the Diocese of Bismarck, North Dakota, announced the opening of the investigation on a young woman named Michelle Duppong. On November 1st of that same year, yes, All Saints' Day, she was declared a servant of God. Now, you may have noticed that the title of this video is Joyful People Can Be Saints. And if you're a fan of this channel and have a tendency to pay attention to the details, you might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't Jen just use that title a couple of months ago? You would be right. But the fact is that the more I dug into Michelle Duppong's life, the more I realized there just isn't a better title for this servant of God. Born in Wheat Ridge, Colorado in 1984, her and her family moved up to North Dakota when she was just a toddler. It is here that she would grow up, go to school, and end up working for Focus as a missionary, working to evangelize college-aged students for 6 years. After that, she would be hired to work as the director of adult faith formation for the Diocese of Bismarck. In my research into Michelle, there was a common theme everywhere I went, including Wikipedia. She didn't just have a joyful presence. She actually brought joy to the people around her. This seemed to be ingrained in her personality. Like she couldn't help it. She put her trust in Jesus and followed the 2 commandments he gave. Love the Lord and love your neighbor. People were drawn to her because of this love, and she was known to help people find even vocations in the priesthood and religious life. She was a true prayer warrior and worked diligently on God's behalf. She was still so young when she first started complaining of a pain in her abdomen. In the fall of 2014, when she was 30 years old, she was diagnosed with ovarian cysts. She was assured that it wasn't serious and that the cysts might even go away on their own. By December, the pain was unbearable. They scheduled her for surgery to remove the cyst on December 29th, 2014. When they opened her up, they were shocked to find her abdomen full of stage 4 cancer. They closed her back up, told her there was nothing they could do, and gave her 2 months to live. This would begin a journey that would last for a year. She offered up the immense pain of many surgeries, procedures, and of course the cancer up to the Lord. Michelle would continue to awe people with not just her peace and acceptance at her illness, but her joy and her caring for those who were caring for her. She would bring her doctors and nurses to tears because they were just so touched by this amazing young woman. On Christmas Day, 2015, her family gathered around her. Michelle passed away to the Lord, surrounded by her family in a home full of love. I never met Michelle in this life, but I feel like we would have been friends. You know, scratch that. I feel like we are friends. Just learning about her and praying with her, I don't know. I feel like I have a special connection with her, as I'm sure others who met her felt just as well. We should take in her example and follow Jesus with the same joy Michelle has and continues to spread.
After having consulted with the Holy See, my brother bishops, and the faithful of this diocese, and having verified the existence of a true and widespread reputation of sanctity enjoyed by her during her life and growing ever stronger after her death, as well as ample evidence of the granting of graces and favors by God through her intercession, I, David D. Kagan, Bishop of Bismarck, do hereby make public the petition of Father Thomas J. Grafskard, the postulator of this cause, and thus declare I am initiating the cause of beatification and canonization of the servant of God, Michelle Christine Duppong. I also call upon any and all who may have useful information regarding the cause of beatification and canonization of Michelle Christine Duppong to bring such documents, materials, or information to my attention.
Her story is only beginning, and we get to participate in it. A cause for her canonization has been opened, and you can learn all about it by going to michelleduppongcause.org. I'll link to it in the description. I'll also link to a film called Radiating Joy on EWTN that you can watch if you'd like to learn more about this potential saint. Speaking of amazing millennials, there's another millennial, Carlo Acutis, on his way to sainthood. He'll be canonized on April 27th, 2025. I am so excited for him. Click this thumbnail here to hear his story. Servant of God, Michelle Duppong, pray for us.